Our question of the day is from Nathan in Texas. We own a landscaping equipment company and primarily sell new and used zero-turn lawnmowers. Is it wrong to let our customers finance their equipment purchases because as a business owner that does not believe in taking on debt, am I violating my ethics to offer financing on our more expensive equipment? I don't think you are. But you've got to decide that. I can't decide that. So let me kind of break this down for you. I teach people, as Dave Ramsey, the money guy, millions and millions and millions and tens of millions of people have followed our advice on getting out of debt, staying out of debt. That is our product. Our product is not zero-turn lawnmowers. Our product is EntreLeadership, helping small businesses run their businesses. It is not zero-turn lawnmowers. Your product is equipment that you're selling. So my product is to get people out of debt on the money side of our equation, right? For me to put people in debt while I'm getting people out of debt would be so hypocritical and oxymoronic that it would be a violation of ethics. So we don't take credit cards at Ramsey. We will take your debit card only, your ACH transfer, your wire, your cash, but we will not take your credit card, and we do not offer financing on anything that we do, because that would, in my case, because of who I am and what I teach, would be I'm known for that. That would be highly hypocritical. You, however, are known for zero-turn lawnmowers. You are not known for this. If you own a Pizza Hut, you sell pizza. And not taking a credit card is an option, or taking a credit card is an option for your Pizza Hut or for your zero-turn lawnmowers to, have a financing arrangement with whoever, John Deere or Kubota or whoever it is, right? A lot of those have their own financing outlets now. And it's much like we're dealing with, if you're a Ford dealership, you'd have Ford Motor Credit available and probably local bank financing available as well. If you own a car dealership and you believe in Dave Ramsey and you believe in being debt-free and you run the car dealership debt-free, I don't think you're breaching ethics to offer financing. Now, I think always that you're breaching ethics if you're letting someone do something, or worse than that, encouraging someone to do something that you know is out of bounds and going to be harmful to them. We all know that you can borrow more money than you should. And if you know someone's in financial trouble and you suspect even that they're lying on the loan application to get this thing approved because they're so desperate for that piece of equipment, well, obviously we don't want to participate in that, because we don't want to participate in being the cause of someone to lose everything. I'll give you an example. In the old days, the local banker was all there was. There was no stupid Chase or Bank of America, God help us, right? Where some moron in another city was making a decision about your life. It was Joe or Henry or whoever, whatever name you want to plug into this, the local banker. And you knew him from church, and your daddy played golf with him. You knew him. And so in the 1950s, if a guy came home from the war and wanted to open a hardware store and didn't have enough sense to do that, but didn't have enough sense to know he didn't need to do that, and he goes into Joe the banker and says, I want to borrow $100,000 or $50,000 or whatever you would have borrowed in 1950 to open a hardware store. You can, and I want to put up my daddy's farm as collateral. Well, the banker looks at this kid and goes, look, kid, you don't know how to run a hardware store. I don't want to have to foreclose on your daddy's farm. It would be unethical for me to make this loan. And the banker would refuse to do what the banker does, which is make loans, because he knows the kid's going to lose the family farm doing this, or a high probability. Now, of course, fast forward to today, Bank of America will make that loan for triple that and charge them a lot of interest, and they'll end up with a family farm because they don't have soul. But, the local bank back in those days, the community bank did. There's a few of those still around, a few of those type of bankers still around, fewer and fewer every year as I get older. But that's the situation. You look at this and you go, now, would I tell you to go borrow money at the bank? No, I don't tell you to go do that. But if you were going to, and you're going to work with a community bank, you're going to get a much different arrangement, a much different set of eyes looking at the deal than you would with one of these mega banks that has no soul, like Fifth Third. Oh, God, help us, please, no. That kind of stuff, right? So, that's who you want to be. You want to be the Joe the banker. You want to be the guy who's a member of the community and doesn't screw his neighbors, right? And so if you've got a kid that doesn't need to be taking on this kind of debt, you go, I'm not going to participate in this deal. But if you got a guy who's, perfectly capable, gal who's perfectly capable of handling this situation, and they're going to finance it, but you don't personally believe in borrowing, I don't think that's unethical. I think you've got to present those ideas. And if it comes up, you could always tell people, hey, I pay cash for everything. I just tell you ahead of time. And we always encourage cash here. And we encourage you to pay cash for everything. But we have the financing available if that's what you want to do. Instead of the first thing out of your mouth is, we got 0% interest on these zero turns. It's like, oh, God. No, maybe the first thing out of your mouth isn't financing, right? Maybe it's like a last resort and it's kind of quiet. It's only for the people that you think are going to do okay with it. And, you make some value judgments about not screwing your neighbor and so forth. Now, again, I don't have that option. It would be very hypocritical for me to do that. And I'm not tempted to do it at all. I wouldn't do it anyway. But I wouldn't say that you, Nathan, that you in Texas are unethical because you offer financing at your equipment business, any more than I would say Pizza Hut or the local pizza parlor that's owned there by a guy or gal in your community is unethical for taking a credit card at the pizza place. They probably don't think twice about it, and so on. So that's how you look at it. Just ethics are the best business ethics you can do. Jesus already taught us. Treat other people like you want to be treated. So any of you that have any business ethics questions, how to deal with an employee, how to deal with a vendor, how to deal with a customer, how to deal with a refund situation, ask yourself, if the roles were reversed, treat other people like you'd want to be treated. If I was sitting there, how would I want to be treated? Well, in your case, the person who wants to finance wants the dignity of being an adult and wants to decide themselves if they want to finance. They don't want you dictating it to them. And some of those people get mad at me when I dictate it to them, but I, again, do not have an option being me. So that's what you're facing. It's a really, really good question, though. So always treat people how you'd want to be treated. If I was incompetent and inept, I would like for someone I'm trying to do business with to, if they thought that and they thought they were screwing me and I was getting ready to lose everything because I did a deal with them, I would want them to turn me down. And I will turn someone down in that situation. I'm not going to ask someone. I'll give you another example. Just throw another one out there. Just keep throwing them out there. But this is good. This is good discussion because business ethics is sometimes it's really corporate America doesn't have much of a soul left. All they do is virtue signal. And so those of us that are running small businesses with a soul, we have to think about these kinds of things. So we have people that want to advertise on the EntreLeadership podcast or on the Ramsey show, and those ad slots they're national and they're super, super expensive. And if I take on an ad that the only way the guy can pay the bill for the ad is if the ad itself causes so much revenue for him that, otherwise I bankrupt him trying to collect from him, then I'm unethical for taking that customer on. And we have turned away many potential advertisers over the years because we thought that if this doesn't work, when they pay our bill, they're going to be broke. Or they're going to just be unable to pay the bill, either one. It's going to completely bankrupt them. So we don't take that customer. because it's not good for the customer. I mean, it's good for us to get the money if we can get the money, but it's not good for the customer. So we don't do business in a way that causes our customer to go broke, because then we want our customer to be around forever and be our customer forever. They're too hard to come by, and it's just wrong. It's unethical. So that is what we're facing. Really good question of the day, Nathan. Thank you so much for sending that in.